Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Sippin Through Life. I'm here, Gaby, with DeAnni and Megan. And
Hi. We're here. We're back for another episode.
Honestly, what a week it has been.
Oh yeah.
What a week. But before we get into talking about like the biggest stories that happened this week, because I think everybody knows that like this last week was a rough one. I kind of just wanted to talk about like what's been going on in our lives for a little bit. So let's start on a light note. Guys, remember how last week I said that I was gonna like shave my legs maybe finally for my birthday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Update, I didn't.
A week's not that long, so it makes sense.
Okay, so this is my dilemma. My hair has now reached a point where it would be painful to shave it. Like it's too long to shave. So I was gonna do this like magic shave cream powder thing, which is basically like it's like Nair, but like stronger or whatever. And I was gonna do that for my legs, but it looks like all the stores around me are basically sold out of it. So
Are you talking about the shaving powder that's on TikTok?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm going to order it from Amazon, but it seems like it's out of stock. So maybe closer to June. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Sippers, happy June. When you guys are listening to this episode, I mean, we're recording in May right now, but it's the end of May.
May 30th.
Yeah. Like it's going to be June and you guys hear this. And I just hope that, we're 6 months into the year. I hope that you guys have a great month of June and just turn over a new page,
Mm-hmm.
But
It's full summer season.
Oh yeah.
I love
Isn't that crazy? Summer is upon us.
When is the first day of summer?
June 21st.
Oh, I thought it was always...
okay. So Father's Day.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I always thought it was like Memorial Day. It was like the first real, like, when I hear like Memorial Day, I'm like, oh, summer's here.
Yeah.
Cookouts, barbecues, same thing.
That's typically when the pool opens too.
Yeah.
So it's when the pool opens, but if we're going on like the calendar of the seasons, it's June.
Oh, okay. Well,
Because then it would last until like September. September 21st is the first day of fall.
Right, which really like September to me, fall is really like September 1st. Or I guess when school goes back.
Yeah, that's how I'd see it too.
August 26th.
That's pushing it.
That's summer.
That's summer.
That's when my school starts, so.
For me, fall doesn't start until October. Because it's still hot in September.
No.
I give it like the middle of September, maybe the end. That's like pushing it.
No,
though,
September
but...
you start feeling like that. Like you gotta buy your candles. You start pulling out that sweater.
No.
Yes.
You see,
No, it's
yeah,
still hot.
I sweat in September, but I'm ready
Yeah.
for fall.
Maybe it was because I was in South Carolina for like 4 years that I just, honestly, fall there doesn't seem to me to start until like November.
Yeah.
Because it's just so hot until November.
I guess it is depending where you are too.
Yeah. But what's going on with you guys? How was your week?
Well, big shouts out to my brothers who are now officially a freshman and senior now. Their last day of school was yesterday, Friday.
Congratulations.
So, I know, they're my not so little baby brothers anymore.
No, not at
It's
all.
so crazy.
You know why this is so wild to me is because I remember meeting you when we were in middle school and they were like toddlers.
Literally toddlers.
Little itty bitties. Like
so
Christian would
crazy.
come to like the football games in
Yeah.
high school and a little first, second grader just like following this high schooler around.
That makes me so
cute.
sad.
I
I'm
know.
happy that they're growing up and getting older, but it's just really sad also because
Yeah.
it's just sad.
It means we're old.
Yeah. We're only 25, but
It's
we're
old.
old. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like not relatable to us anymore about high school stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
not at all.
Not at
Especially
all.
whenever he like uses slang and I'm like, what are you saying?
No, same.
The other day,
Same. My brother needs to chill. I don't know what he's saying to me anymore.
The other day, I had to ask Brianna what simpin meant.
What? What is
Simpin?
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 Yeah, because
Kind
I
of
saw
like you're
the-
sipping?
No.
Okay.
Simpin. Because I saw that all the young TikTokers were using this word and they're like, oh yeah, she's a simp. And I'm like, what's that mean? And she told me it's like a simpleton, like
Basic?
a
Basic?
fool.
Oh.
Almost like they're making a fool out of you.
Sounds like a Sims character. You're a Sims?
I don't know,
I was
but
thinking the same thing.
Right?
it was so weird. It's like I turned 25 only a week ago and all of a sudden I'm old.
Welcome
like I
to
don't
the
know
club.
anything.
Are you
Welcome.
kidding? You know how long it took me to realize on TikTok what clout was?
Now, Gaby.
Oh, Gabby.
I live underneath. Okay, clearly I live underneath the rock.
Don't club me into her with her 25.
No, I'm not Gabby's 25.
What do you mean? I'm just
Gabby,
like,
that's too much.
what is? Okay, how is clout supposed to be attention to a post? Like what?
Okay, wow,
What?
you got a little angry there.
Sorry, I got a little frustrated. I did.
She doesn't want to admit to it, you know?
I don't want to, because that if I admit to it, then I'm admitting I'm old. I don't want to admit that.
But Gabby,
The first step to recovery is admitting that you have a problem.
you are old, Gabby.
You are old.
We are, but it's like
I'm older than you.
by 6 fucking months. Like
Wow, you think she would be happy about
Aggression.
that? Someone needs to come to terms with turning 25.
Right.
clearly I'm still not there yet. So
But guys, you know what? I just actually realized that we haven't talked about the sip of the week. And the sip of the week this week, sippers,
May I?
is
May I?
go ahead.
It's an Aperol Spritz.
Okay. And so the reason that we picked this is because Megan had mentioned it last week, how Morgan Stewart had let her down because she recommended an Aperol Spritz. Megan tried it, disliked it, and Megan also ordered her sweatpants, and there was a whole issue with the sweatpants. So I have a very, very close friend, one of my best friends from South Carolina. She texted me and was like, yo, an Aperol Spritz is so good. Heather McMahon put me onto it. I hated it the first time I tried to make it. And when she went to a restaurant, she said it was amazing. It's so good, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, I've never tried this. Guys, this week's sip of the week is going to be Aperol Spritz.
Thank you.
If you guys head over to our Instagram channel, wow. No.
Whoa.
Our Instagram account at Sippin Through Life, you guys will see an IGTV video that we posted of me making it. I still had not tried it at the time. And after like 45 minutes of having this drink, I can let you guys know that this drink is not for me.
Thank you.
Now, you guys are more than welcome, sippers, to make it and let me know what you think. Maybe it works with your palate, but it doesn't agree with mine.
Do you like it, Gabby?
yeah, I was about to say I'm not a huge fan.
It's bitter.
It's bitter. It's the aftertaste. It's not so
Yeah.
much when you're drinking it, but it's like when you're not drinking it and it's just sitting there, you're like,
I know. It's in your mouth and you just like keep swallowing.
sorry.
It's so bad. And okay, here's the thing. It's a gorgeous colored drink.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Like
It looks
this
pretty.
is the photo you want to put on your Instagram. You want to put an orange slice on there and you want to say, just drinking my Aperol Spritz in the quarantine times and look real fancy. But let me tell you, you're going to throw that drink right down the drain.
Yeah, no,
It
it's
is
not good.
so bad. And you know what?
What?
I think that's what a lot of these Instagram influencers do.
It's all a scam.
These eyes out here. They're
Megan would
just
know, though.
scamming us. But may I say, the
may.
sweatpants, they're coming around. So Katie, this goes out to you. Katie, my little sipper. You.
My little sipper.
That was weird. I'm so sorry, Katie. Katie, you should buy a pair of sweatpants and like we can do this together. Okay?
No, hold on.
No, hold on, DeAnni, please. Let me.
Don't do it, Katie.
Once you wear them to bed and you wear them for a full 24 hours, they really start to mold to your body. And they're not bad. They're not bad. They're not bad.
Did they become softer?
Well, here's the thing. Not so much softer, but there's more, movement to them. Not
More
so
stretch?
Not so much cardboard. Just more, you can sit down in them.
Megan,
No, please, these sweatpants, please. This is all I have right now.
Megan,
In these quarantine times, this is all I have.
This cry that you're trying to make to sell these sweatpants is
Thank you.
not working. 1, 2, were you contacted by Morgan Stewart for defamation or something? That pitch did not sell me on anything.
Okay.
The fact that you said, "Oh, now I can just sit down in them," they didn't become soft. Megan, those were hard sweatpants. They were not soft.
Crusty, some would
Yeah,
say.
crusty.
Did you try fabric softener?
No, I haven't put them through their wash yet. I'm gonna put them through though. I wore them for a day and then I never wore them again.
Why didn't you wash them before?
I don't know. Do you guys wash your clothes before you wear them?
Typically.
Yeah, me either.
It's just, for the
wash
girls'
my-
clothes, yes. I always wash their clothes first.
Oh.
I wash my underwear first.
Since all this started though,
When you wear
I
it.
have been washing my clothes before
When I wear them.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know, guys. I actually really like them. The colors are pretty. They're a little heavy for summertime, so I think I'm gonna keep them for the winter. But
sometimes it's nice wearing like heavy sweatpants in the summer because your house is freezing cold.
so true. And that's when I'll pull them out.
Because that's when I wear sweatpants the most is the summertime and I'm at home.
Okay.
It's weird, but
Well, when I'm rocking them, I expect compliments, please.
DeAnni?
Well, I may give you a compliment. I don't know that I will give you I cannot confirm or deny that I will give you a compliment when you're rocking them because I know the truth.
Right. So if I get a compliment, it's the truth.
Sure, we'll go with that.
You're gonna lie to me and give me a compliment?
No. So you probably won't get a compliment.
Thank you. Fine.
But speaking of ordering online, remember like maybe 3 weeks ago I told you guys that I ordered from Fabletics?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I got my leggings and I finally tried them on.
Scam?
No.
Damn.
Guys,
Good for you.
I understand. I finally understand why people pay like a bunch of money for their leggings. Because before I'm like, why are people paying anything above $20 for a pair of leggings to work out in? The crotch does not sag. Mm-hmm. The stomach is so sucked in. I looked like a skinny legend. My butt looked voluptuous.
Seen them?
No, I had an old roommate that she gave me a pair that just to wear because she had a whole bunch. And when I say I wore those suckers all the frickin' time, they don't move on your body. That's why I said if any of those ordering platforms, whatever you're going to use, to me, Fabletics is the one to go for.
Okay, I'm sold.
It's so good.
Sell those sweatpants first.
The sweatpants have a lot of crotch room. You know what I mean? Didn't really move around down there.
I don't know what you mean, but
I can give them to Noah. He'll be fine. You know, just a lot of room down there. A lot of extra fabric. Ooh, Noah would look good in a pastel pink. Little sky blue.
Or the two different shade of blues on the pants.
I think that was intentional.
I think so too. I think it's a style choice.
Yeah, because have you noticed Gaby, you've been on TikTok. You noticed on TikTok how they will like bleach one pant leg of their denim and then it's like one leg is light and one leg is dark.
Is that like a 90s thing?
Yeah.
It had to have been.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a 90s baby.
We all are 90s
Well, the 90s
babies.
is coming back. Yeah, and we're all 90s babies. They were going to figure it out at some point.
So
no,
true.
right? We're all 25.
So true. But I'm still trying to rock it. I got the scrunchie in my hair right now.
Mm-hmm.
Such a visco girl.
Oh my god, such a visco girl.
Save the turtles.
But honestly, save the turtles.
No, but really, guys,
really.
save the
Yeah,
turtles. Recycle.
But really. But like also like my phone is set up like a visco girl. Like it's like, hold on, let me show you.
If you have a billion little files, I'm going to be real pissed off.
I do. And they're all capitalized. Like, just get your shit together. Dreamy. Couch time. Money.
Wait, this is the first time I've ever
Food.
seen anything like
Does this bother you?
Yeah, I could never have a million things to scroll through.
Gaby.
that's sickening to me.
That's gross.
And not in a good way. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. That
Do you like this?
Yeah.
Come on, Dreamy. That's
But I
like
don't-
where all
I
my
don't rename
creativity
it.
stuff goes. Guys, do you want to hear my CoStar app today?
No.
Okay. It says, let yourself feel happy. I'm going to let myself feel happy today, guys.
Go ahead.
That sounds like a fortune cookie.
Well, it's catered to me and me only.
No. Okay.
So
You told me.
I'm going to feel happy today, so I'm going to... I'm going to reject that right now, okay? I'm in a happy bubble.
Okay.
But not with this Aperol Spritz.
I'm gonna actually just try to like chug this, guys. I added.
I'm almost there.
Yeah, Gabby, I'm really proud.
Because I want it gone.
I
Okay.
added strawberry lemonade to mine, and it's made it a little bit better. But the aftertaste, think like Delsum cough
Bile.
syrup.
Bile.
I really had to just, it was a
All right.
whole lot.
Wait. Okay, I love doing this game, like when the drink is so bad. Gabby, me and DeAnni are going to sip, and you tell us when to stop, okay?
I
Ready?
like this game.
Ready, set,
Go. You guys hear it? They're gulping. All right, done.
Oh,
Oh. DeAnni, that was a good little chug there. Thank you. Keep it down. I know. Oh.
Oh, that was really
was
good,
rough.
DeAnni. I did not take big sips because I knew the aftertaste was going to hit harder.
Yeah, but she's going to be done before you.
It's going to hit harder, quicker for her. Also, I've been drinking all day since 10:30 a.m., so please. Oh. I'm so
We're
sorry.
gonna have to cut out some like lip noises, but I'm sorry. This is like disgusting.
I think it's
have
hilarious.
to
That's
make-
why.
Oh, this is so gross.
Katie, I'm sorry, girl. You failed me on this one. This is disgusting.
But Katie, get the sweatpants and we'll do it together.
Katie, I swear to
Katie.
you. I promise you.
Katie.
It's not worth. How much was one pair?
$100.
That's
Ridiculous.
insane. That's insane.
Sorry. But with the Aperol Spritz, I don't know. Maybe Katie makes it better than we are. So we just need to,
That's true.
next time she visits or something,
Yeah.
Take a trip down to South Carolina?
Yeah.
just for her to make us an Aperol Spritz.
I'm down.
But I don't know that she makes it. I think she told me that the restaurant that she went to made it, and it was amazing. So
Well, maybe
maybe we
it's
have
good
to
there.
go to the restaurant.
Take it to go.
This is the
Yeah.
second time I tried it. Sorry, the backwash came up and it was disgusting. I'm sorry. It's just, oh, so gross.
Oh my god, I just made the worst mouth. Cut that out.
Okay, I will.
I'm serious.
Okay, I'll cut it out.
Please leave it.
I'm gonna leave it, guys. Sorry,
Thanks.
Sippers. Enjoy it. Guys, I'm sorry.
No, I was just thinking about something, and I was gonna ask you guys.
Oh, okay.
Did you guys see about that one YouTuber on obviously YouTube? Her name is blanking. But her and her
Micah?
yes,
Stauffer.
yes. But did you hear anything about her family this past week by chance?
Okay, so
Yes.
I did hear about it because I was on BuzzFeed and on Instagram throughout the week, and I heard something about it. But you know what's crazy to me is, like, I'm obsessed with YouTube. I look at all the family vloggers and blah, 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 and I had never heard of her.
Yeah.
And so then when I was hearing this story, I was like, and they were like, she's amassed so many followers because of her adoption. And I was like, what adoption?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Gabby, it seems like you're pretty familiar with this. Why don't you tell me, like, what happened?
So I know a good chunk. Megan, you know a good chunk. So if I
Yeah.
leave anything out, please let me know.
Okay.
So a family at this point they had. So obviously there's a mom and dad. From the mom's first relationship, she had a daughter, and then they had together the husband and wife had a daughter and son. They decided to adopt a child from China, in which they took the entire family, went to China, picked him up. His name is Huxley, and then obviously brought him home.
They made a 13-part YouTube video
Yes,
series.
it was a huge thing.
13 videos.
Yes.
Was this a recent adoption?
No, it was in well,
2015,
relatively
2016?
17.
Oh, okay,
17.
okay.
So like 3 years.
Yeah,
ago.
Yeah.
so relatively,
But 13 videos.
but
Is a lot.
Yes, and they did build up a lot of their followers during the adoption process, and that the 13-part series of him coming here, and then finally him being just with him in the States, and blending the family and doing all that. I guess it came out this past week that people were noticing that Huxley was not in any of the family's vlogs, on Instagram, all that. It had come out that the husband and wife publicly, came out with a video saying, we weren't disclosed a lot of Huxley's medical conditions whenever we, adopted him. And at this point, they had found out they didn't disclose a whole lot to the fans.
No, not a lot, but you could
Just
tell
you knew that it
something
was- you
a
knew-
little different about Huxley.
Yes, you knew he was autistic.
Yes.
Personally, I don't know a whole lot. I know a decent amount. Just my family works in special ed, and I did work in special ed for a little while. I thought there was more. Outside looking in, it just seemed like there was
you
a lot.
watched it?
Yes, there
Okay.
was. It just seemed like there was a lot going on that they struggled with, and they didn't. They would say that it was a hard week or something like that. Anyways, this past week though, people noticed, kind of reached out, saying they were concerned. The mom and dad came out and said, we weren't aware of certain issues, and basically they're giving the kid back. In a way, he's basically getting readopted to a new home.
yeah, they're giving him up.
They're giving him up.
I'm sorry to be harsh, but they just said, "Peace out. We can't handle this. Bye. Here's someone else's problem."
So he was adopted already, or he's just in
He was
foster
adopted
care?
by them. I think.
No, I mean right now.
They're trying to find a good family that he could fit in.
But they lied. They said that he is with his forever home and he's in the foster care.
Are you serious?
They lied. They said, "Hey, Huxley, he's okay. He's with his forever home." No, he's in the foster care.
So he
I
left
didn't know
China
that.
where he was in
Yep.
a children's...
Oh wow.
Even completely different story then.
You see, then that just clearly shows that I'm hearing like so many different things.
Yeah.
So
But
you're telling me he left China where he was in the foster care system in China or given up for adoption in
Yes.
China, brought here, stayed here with a quote unquote loving family for 3 years,
Yes.
and is now in the foster care system, which, let's be honest, has failed millions of children across America.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're trying to paint the mom and dad are trying to or Micah and whatever her husband's name is.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
They're trying to paint it to be like we did everything we could, which, you know, maybe they did do everything they could, right? Like, I'm not here to say like no, you didn't. But they're also saying like, but we're not adequate enough to handle this, so we're saying goodbye. Mm-hmm. But now it's come out that they also want to re-adopt.
What?
They want to get another child to
whoa.
adopt. That's what I read on E-News.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
I know. I'm finding out things with you, and I'm getting very upset.
Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I was reading through, like a bunch of comments. Like, they want to still have another child. And it just seems like from their YouTube videos, their life is picture perfect. Like, I watched them for a while, right? And I was like, oh my God, like they make having, 3 kids, and then they just had their 4th? Like Huxley, the third.
They're biologically,
They have 3 biological and then Huxley.
Yes.
And I remember watching being like, oh my God, like she makes this look so easy. Like all her kids, her house is gorgeous. Like, wow. And like, I mean, honestly, you can like be like, well, this is just staged, right? Yeah. But then I was like, I don't know. This couple has some issues, in my opinion.
There's a lot of things that you can tell. Not that it's a bad way that they have certain views, but it's like they seems like very homebodies. Mom homeschools all the kids. Mm-hmm. Again, nothing wrong with that, but like little things, thinking about what I've seen in the past and looking now and then hearing this, that whether they want to adopt or have another baby, it's like not only did you just have a baby, but you're giving up your kid.
Yep.
Okay, so this is my thing. Because at first, hearing that like they are admitting that they're not equipped to parent a child that has special needs, I'm like, well, that takes a lot of like courage to like come out and be like I'm having a tough time. Like, I don't know that I'm equipped to do this. Mm-hmm. But it would be different if not saying that they should like give up any child. I mean, I don't know what the circumstances are, but I feel like if this child was their own biological child, they probably wouldn't give up that child. No. They probably would be like doing everything in their power to work with the child, get the child in therapy, work with any like community figure that can like help them become better parents to a child with special needs. And I feel as though, honestly, this may hurt some people's feelings. And this is my first time hearing about it. So like, this is just outside looking in.
Yeah.
It seems like they went shopping for a token kid in another country. They brought the kid back, realized that the kid had problems, and they were like, I don't want a kid that has problems. It doesn't fit into my perfect life.
Nail on the head.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then there's a part of me that, again, like knowing it can be very difficult working with kids or just having a child that has special needs. Like, those parents work so hard. Mm-hmm. And like you said, like if it was their their biological child, would they be doing this? No. But at least I'm kind of happy though. Like, we don't know what's going on in the home. I'm not trying to talk down to them, saying that they were being awful to him. But like, if they were miserable, who would want that boy living in a house that he would just be miserable the rest of his life? Mm-hmm. And not to mention, he wasn't verbal.
No.
So it's like
verbal. How
were people going to know he was upset and not okay with what was going on? And maybe, who knows? I mean, they kept saying they wanted to protect his privacy, this and that. And it's like, no offense to you guys. No, offense. Take it. Y'all didn't care about his privacy when you put his whole business of getting adopted on YouTube. So don't give me that shit that we're trying to protect his privacy now, this and that. It's like, no, you did not care from the beginning. So don't act like it now.
Yeah. I mean, like, whatever happens, like, this child's life is forever changed. Mm-hmm. You chose this child. You love this child through the good and the bad.
Well, and not to mention, though, like, he wasn't like a baby when he was adopted. He was a good 2.5, 3.
Yes.
So
So is he 6 now?
I guess he's got to be 6, maybe 7. They did document though when they brought him, or when they were still in China taking him from the agency or whatever. He had a difficult time leaving them. I mean, he was attached to them, and to go from people you understand the language, and then to people he had no idea what was going on. They talk about him like he was in his crib or whatever, and he would just
rock back and forth,
just back and forth, and it just I don't know, if you had a gut feeling when you were there. I feel like that would have been the time to be like, I don't think we can handle this. Do I feel awful? Yes. But at least you know from there, and you don't have this child get attached to you all over again to go through the process that happened 2 years earlier. I don't know. I'm just in shock about the whole thing. And you telling me all that they want to adopt again?
Which I'm pretty sure I read. Like, this whole story is just actually, like, really disheartening. Like, foster care is so terrible.
Yeah.
Especially for this little boy who doesn't speak. Like, he, like, did you say he's...
So,
I haven't seen these
I haven't
YouTubes.
kept up recently. I did keep up a lot during the adoption process and a little bit afterwards.
Me too.
But it seemed like when they got their new house, which was a year and a half, maybe...
Yeah, 2018.
2 years ago. That's when I kind of just, like, stopped watching. Because I was like, I don't know. The way you guys are getting is just way too YouTube for me. Like, it's not very realistic. You got the nice ass house now, the nice cars, the big ass playground in the backyard. Like, it just didn't seem realistic. Like,
As soon as someone isn't relatable, I'm like, yeah, I'm out.
yeah,
I
same.
like authenticity.
So,
You know? Like, I'm not rich. Like, show me just a normal life. Like, I don't need to see this picture perfect thing.
Exactly.
It turns me off. But, I mean, a lot of people like to watch that. Because it's an escape from reality.
Yeah.
And it's aspirational to see these people who started out like so simple, and it's like, oh look, they started out simple and they acquired all of this stuff and they have all this money now, and like I can do that if I really focus and really pay attention and really work hard and whatnot. But the thing that happens is like then people, I feel, become greedy. And they wonder, okay, what can I do to make more money?
Yeah, they start selling you things.
Right. So then it's like this family, I don't know anything about them, so you guys can take my words and my opinions with a grain of salt, but I feel like they started out probably very simple, very wholesome, and it's like once they started seeing success, they were like, oh, like, listen, here in America, I feel like many people are always like, oh, I want to adopt. But this is always my question for them. Why is your first thought to adopt from out of the country? Like, why don't you go to a foster home that's in your city, in your state, and actually try to help someone that is less fortunate and really does need a home, rather than like going to another country and like taking them from their already like home environment, you know, kind of. And that could be completely wrong. Like, I mean, like, people can let me know. I'm still learning, you know?
Same.
But then it's just also like another situation. Like, I always feel bad for people. When I think of adoption, I always feel bad for the kids who, like, once you reach like a certain, I think it was like in Like Mike or something like that, the movie. When he said, like, once you reach a certain age, nobody wants to adopt you anymore because you're not the cute, cuddly baby. You're like a kid or a preteen or a teen. And it's like, if these people really felt it in their heart that they wanted to help somebody, why didn't you go to an adoption shelter or a foster care home in your immediate area?
And I think for me, what was a little bit of a red flag with them was that their son was the same age of Huxley when they adopted him. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But if you, again, you know the language barrier is already going to be a difficult challenge for you guys. Why did you choose? I just don't know.
Feels like a ploy to get
right.
Like, views.
It just seems like now
this is a
looking
cool
back,
thing to do. People are gonna think we're so awesome and so sweet. Like we've opened up our hearts.
Exactly, and it's like looking back, it just doesn't seem as genuine as I thought it was.
No.
Okay, so this is a question that I'm thinking of. So they started out YouTube. They were like simple, normal. Yes, no, or did they have more? Did they have the money?
I have no idea. I only came in after Huxley.
Oh, because I was gonna ask like, how were they able to like get? Because I know that like adoption is expensive. So like, how were they able to like go over to? Was he from China?
Yes, from China.
How were they able to go over to China? How were they able to afford?
Oh my God,
Huxley! Like
you might know
I'm
this.
so sorry. I know this.
Okay,
They asked their subscribers for help.
Did they really?
Like they started like a GoFundMe.
I read an article that like, and don't quote me, but like I read an article that said like their fan base was a little like of course upset because they had helped them get through this process. So like they were obviously contributing to their funds.
Oh, because like yeah, before Huxley,
can you imagine?
Their house
put money in.
Oh, sorry.
No, sorry. That you put money in,
yeah,
and then this family deserts the child that you help.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, but again, what DeAnni said, why, if you need money to adopt a child, why are you going out of the country? I mean, it's more expensive.
And that's why I know that this may trigger some people. I know people are like, they're not shopping, they're trying to help. But like, why? Mm-hmm. It just seems like you're shopping for a kid.
Well, now it does because you just gave him back. Like shoes you don't like, sweatpants you don't like.
It didn't fit for me.
Yeah. Oh God, you're not the perfect child I thought. Like you have problems, actual problems. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And guess what, guys? Newsflash, Micah. I'm sure your daughters are gonna have some issues later in life too. What are you gonna do?
Their brother's just gone now.
Their brother's gone. You come from a divorced family. Like that's fine, but like that has its issues in itself. Like to think that children aren't gonna have issues. That's delusional.
Well, especially, again, the brother that was 2 years old, the same age as him.
They shared a room.
They shared a home. They were the same age. Yeah. I mean, but again, we don't know what happened in the home.
Right, because there may have been something traumatic that was going on that they felt that needed to be addressed, and this was the best solution for them. But I feel like the way that they went about getting Huxley, the way that they went about getting rid of Huxley. And then I wonder, how did they even explain to their kids that Huxley is no longer going to be a part of the family?
How do you do that? Like, my initial reaction when I heard this story, like when Gaby, you texted us, I was like, okay, like, that's really nice that, like, they realize, like, I can't do this, and I want to provide a home that'll help Huxley out. Like, if I can't meet his needs, someone else will. But then, like, shit just kept coming out, and I was like, You said he was in a forever home, but he's in foster care.
You see, and again, I was under the impression everything I told you guys. Like, I've been keeping up a little bit this past week, nothing, or the last couple days at least, but nothing crazy. So hearing all this now, it's just like, I really want to unsubscribe to you people.
I was never subscribed.
I was never subscribed.
You see, I was subscribed to them.
Her cleaning videos were so enjoyable.
I love a good cleaning video.
Thank you.
I love a good cleaning video. It's so relaxing to watch.
Yeah, I don't know.
Power washing.
The whole situation is just sad, and like the real victim here is Huxley.
Oh, 100%, yeah. So Huxley, you won't hear this, but
I know,
Bubba, you're just gonna glow up. Don't worry.
I know. I just hope since
you find your forever family,
such a mass media, like such a hot topic, that like a loving, supportive family will like come and help him. But like that's like wishful thinking, and I don't know. I don't want to be like pessimistic, but it just doesn't feel like that's really going to be the situation.
Oh, this really just like breaks my heart.
Yeah.
And guys, another situation that occurred this week that broke my heart was the situation that happened in Minnesota with George Floyd. And to the listeners out there, I actually prepared a statement because this was something that was, oh my gosh, my heart is beating so fast right now. Okay. This was something that really, truly like broke my heart to sit and watch this video and to just feel like helpless and hopeless and just like so frustrated with everything that's going on in this country. So I just want to read this for you guys. And then Meg and Gaby and I are going to have a conversation about just what happened in Minnesota. So I'll start. Okay. And this is the first time that Megan and Gaby are hearing this. So, okay. I would be lying if I were to sit here and say that I'm emotionally okay. Because I'm not. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm heartbroken. I'm disgusted. I'm traumatized. And I'm angry. So angry. As a Black woman living in America, I can't help but to cry over the events that occurred this past week. First, it was Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Michael Brown, Sandra Bland, Walter Scott, Eric Garner, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Philando Castile, and George Floyd. And this is clearly not the full list of people who have been murdered for simply being black in America. And I know that there are people out there who will disagree with me and say they weren't killed because they were black. Oh no, they were killed because they were doing the wrong thing. They reacted poorly. They were combative when they should have complied and respected authority. And to them, I would say, you're wrong. You are wrong. Too many times I've had to watch people who look like me get killed while others who react equally as bad or commit more heinous crimes somehow walk away with their lives. I'm not sitting here wishing that police brutality or racism would result in the death of another individual. It's quite opposite. I pray that I never have to use another hashtag to remember the life of someone who was taken away from this earth too soon. But that won't happen until there's true change in this country. We have to say and remember the names of those who have been murdered so that it becomes so embedded and ingrained in our minds and in the history of this nation that we can never forget what happened to them. We can never forget how they were shot and killed. We can never forget how they were lynched. We can't forget how they cried out that they couldn't breathe. We can never forget how they begged for their family. Those images, those cries for help are burned in my memory. And Gaby and Megan, y'all know that I had like a full-on breakdown to y'all a few weeks ago after I watched Ahmaud Arbery be chased down and shot and killed. And I'll admit, I was just kind of sort of like coming back to myself when I learned about George Floyd. And for those of you who are unaware of what I'm talking about, because I've noticed a lot of silence from people who claim they're friends and who claim they're allies, I'm speaking about the black man who was murdered by a police officer in Minnesota. George was suspected of committing forgery with a fake $20 bill. And at some point during his arrest, this officer decided that he was the judge, the jury, and the executioner. So he killed him by placing his knee on George's neck. There were 3 other cops there who did nothing. They failed to serve and protect, and instead they all stood around and ignored the pleas of the crowd. They ignored George as he expressed that he couldn't breathe. For 9 minutes, they allowed this cop to apply so much force that George died there on the street, like an animal by himself. It was, and it is, traumatizing to see this happen time and time again. Because that person, that human being whose black life is stolen matters. Their black life matters. And it's hard to be strong. It's so hard to be strong and to put a smile on every day when you're also dealing with the internal stress and fear and anxiety that the next hashtag could be your father, your uncle, your cousin, your friend, or yourself. It's really hard. And America is stuck in this vicious cycle where black people are murdered and their name trends for a while, and then society moves on and they sweep the core issue under the rug while the black and brown communities continue to mourn and weep and live in fear that their loved ones are next. And to that I say, enough is enough. It's time for a major change. If you're not black but you call yourself an ally, I ask you to use your privilege for good. Use your privilege to help. Don't just post a hashtag. Don't remain silent, because your silence is loud and it is deafening and it is part of the problem. You need to attend town hall meetings. You need to pay attention to the people and the policies that you allow to be voted into positions of power. You need to sign petitions and fight for the truth about race relations to be taught and systemic racism to be revealed in schools. Because you know that racism didn't just go away when the Civil Rights Act was passed. And most importantly, you have to have these conversations with your families, at your dinner tables, and with your friends, and you have to educate yourselves. And you need to fight for the human rights of black people. I know it's uncomfortable to talk about race, especially here in America, but you know what's even more uncomfortable? Watching your race be hunted down and killed. So it's time to do your part. And that's it. That's all I have to say. was written beautifully.
Thank you, DeAnni. That was really...
Yeah, thank you. Okay. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to
No,
apologize.
don't apologize.
That was...
It was heavy and sad what you wrote, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
It was beautifully written, and
it needed to be said.
Yeah, I think, and to those of you who may be listening and wondering, like, why did you, like, write a statement? Why didn't you just, like, speak from your heart? I'll just say that, like, and I'm sorry to be, like, crying so much, but this is, like, really hard for me. When I said that, you know, I live every day in fear that this could be, like, someone that I love, like, I mean it. Like, this is, like, a constant fear, like, when my dad leaves the house just to, like, go on a walk or just to run to the grocery store. Like, you see these videos all the time to the point where you're just, like, a walking ball of anxiety. Mm-hmm. And so I needed to, like, sit down because, like, all this week I was kind of just, at first I was just kind of, like, sad. Mm-hmm. And it's sad to say that, like, I wasn't shocked that this happened in America. That's really sad to say because it's happened so many times and it keeps happening time and time again. And by Thursday, I, like, had, like, a full-on breakdown in my room, and I was like, okay, I refuse to let our podcast be one of those podcasts that just, like, completely ignores what's going on in America and tries to just release, like, happy, funny content. Because while I would love for this week to have been, like, a happy, funny, like, content week, the reality is like, this is, like, weighing on my heart. This is weighing on my mind. And I can't sit here and make jokes when people are being murdered in the street by police officers. Like, it's not okay. And I'm not trying to make this a political issue, but at the end of the day, this is a human rights issue. Like, guys, you need to pay attention. You need to stand up and fight for what is right. Don't turn a blind eye to what is happening here in America in 2020.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You have to pay attention. You have to speak out. You have to continue these conversations. Like, Gaby, I know that you said it earlier, but, like, we can't only have these conversations when somebody is murdered and when their murder becomes, like, hot topic news. Right. Mm-hmm. We cannot only have these conversations then.
Thing. This is an everyday thing. And the fact that, sadly, someone has to get murdered for everyone to come together, and then guess what? In 2 weeks, it'll be done.
Right.
That's not okay.
Well, and even a famous quote right now, Will Smith, that it's like, it's not like racism went away. It's just, it's being recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, but what if this wasn't recorded? Like, that's the pit. And I'm sure you guys feel it too, that it's like, it really takes recording for someone to get punished for taking a life. No matter what your job is, like, so who cares that you got a badge on? You don't have any right to do that to someone. Yeah. And what? You think no one cares just because they're black? False, sir. And honestly, America is showing everyone, at least a majority, I'm hoping, and from what I'm seeing on social media, they're showing they give a shit.
Yep.
And they're getting to the point where they don't give a fuck about what a police officer is going to say, or a governor or mayor or senator. No, you guys got to change this shit because it's ridiculous.
And that, like, actually brings me to my next point is, like I said in my statement, like, far too often we just, like, let their name trend for a few weeks and then just the country just moves on. But it's like their families. Like, that was somebody's child. That was somebody's father, uncle, brother. Like, they don't get to just move on, you know? Because it's like a piece of them is missing.
This is more than a hashtag.
Yeah.
This is someone's life. This is someone's family. This is someone's friend.
But moving forward, like, I think that this country has to get out. Like, okay, my dad always says this, but like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. This country, like I said, is in this vicious cycle where a name trends and then they get over it. And from this day on, like nobody else needs to die. Nobody should have died. But from this point on, I think as a country, we need to all agree that like enough is enough, and not just like, oh, I'm going to post a hashtag. Oh, I'm going to post an Instagram story or a Snapchat story or whatever, because it's frustrating when I see people post stories and then it's like, it's just forgotten when those 24 hours are up.
I'm going to do this so people know I care.
Yeah. But if you really cared, you need to fight for like the policy changes. There are many policies in place right now that are oppressing Black and brown communities, and you guys have to fight for human rights is everything. Like these are like basic human rights. I should not be afraid when my dad leaves the house that he may not come home. I shouldn't be afraid of that. But here in 2020, it's a constant fear. And it's just like, is the looting and the burning and is that stuff going to fix it? No, but it's not.
I understand it, because it's like, if you're not listening to me, what else do you think I'm going to resort to?
Right.
And it's like those, like, people are like giving them shit for like looting, but people do fucking riots when a football team wins.
And that's my whole thing.
Do not come at this right now.
My whole thing right now is like, to the people who have remained silent because they're upset that people are looting, I understand that looting is not okay. I understand that rioting is scary and it's not okay.
Yeah.
But to that I say, you need to keep that same energy. When people are going up to the state and the governor's office and standing in front of it with rifles protesting a stay-at-home order during coronavirus because they don't want to stay at home, you need to have that same energy. Don't do for one and then ignore the other. Because it's not okay. Because then right there, when you say that you're an ally and you're silent while this other stuff is going on, you're picking a side.
Yep.
You are picking a side, and it's noted and it's realized.
Silence is louder than words sometimes.
Yeah.
This conversation is hard.
It is hard.
It is a hard conversation. It's hard because for me, it's an important conversation, and it's something that needs to be had. I don't want this to be a conversation that just happens when someone gets murdered. Yeah. This is something that if you see your friends making a joke and it's racist and there's racist undertones, you ask, why is that funny to you? Don't just sit back and be like, good one. That's only perpetuating the situation. Mm-hmm. These conversations need to be had even when nothing horrific like with George Floyd has just happened.
And I'll be honest, like Megan said, like these conversations are very hard to have, but these are the conversations, like if you call yourself a friend, these are the conversations that have to be had. Like Megan, Gaby, and I have known each other since we were in middle school, and we've grown up with each other. And I'm DeAnni. I hope you guys know my voice right now. I'm DeAnni. I'm Black. Megan's white. Gaby's Hispanic. And these are conversations that we've like had before and will continue to have moving forward, because at the end of the day, like, I think it helps us to grow. And if you're ignorant and you're unaware and you don't know, it's not too late to learn.
Yeah, I agree.
But you have to be willing and open to accepting your ignorance.
And your privilege.
And I mean...
And sitting with that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've talked to Megan before about, like, white privilege, and, like, I pray that I haven't
Never.
Hold on. I'm not gonna apologize, because...
Please don't apologize.
That's something that I'm working on, guys, is not apologizing for things that I'm, like, not actually sorry for, but cards on the table, because Megan is a white woman, she has privilege.
Yes.
She has more privilege than me. And these are conversations that we have to have. She does not take me calling her privileged as an offense, because she knows it's true. But instead, she uses her privilege to educate herself and to educate others on why their privilege is a thing.
I think that's the difference between taking advantage of privilege and not taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
Is that being able to talk about it and acknowledging that, yes, I have white privilege. I have this privilege because of the color of my skin.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean something negative.
No.
It's just acknowledging that you had more opportunities than most people, again, because of the color of your skin.
Right, like fresh, sorry, this may be a little graphic, but like fresh out the womb.
Yeah.
I
was 2 steps ahead.
Right.
I mean, you're exactly right, though. You know, and I've had to come to terms with my own white privilege, and that's been really hard. But so important to do. And it has been uncomfortable, and it's not a pretty thing, but like I have to acknowledge that, you know, I have advantages because of the color of my skin that the two of you don't have. And if I were to ignore that, then I would be very ignorant to the situation that is going on right now and to the situation that has been going on since the start of America. You know, acknowledging that you have privilege is the first step, and it is uncomfortable, but it needs to be done because honestly, like, you're the tool to change. And the first step is to be aware of it. And I believe in equality and I stand for equality for people, but I also am standing here saying I understand the place I have in society because of the color of my skin. But I really do think that it is so important to listen to the people that have to experience this day in and day out. Like, don't just listen and learn from them. But growing up in Nova has been really interesting.
I'm going to be honest. I mean, all of us grew up in this Northern Virginia bubble where far too often people are like, oh, I don't see race. I don't see, it's just very I don't even know what the word is for it.
I would say in a way, people that live in Northern Virginia are privileged in their own way.
And everyone has sectors of Northern Virginia.
Yes, certain sectors.
It's not everywhere.
Yeah.
But I think that, I don't know if that helps with what we're getting at.
No, that
kind
does
of
help.
It's not going back to obviously, I guess, what would you say, racial privilege, but it's the fact that clearly
it's one of the wealthiest areas.
Yes, we're in a wealthy area, but we are acknowledging that, yes, you being white is a privilege to you in this area, even though we all had pretty much the same upbringing.
Yeah. And so when I was talking about teaching the truth about systemic racism and race in America, it comes from a personal place because listen, my mom grew up in Virginia and she remembers when she grew up in a small town and she remembers when her school was integrated. And my dad grew up in New York and he remembers the civil rights movements and stuff like that. And I, for a long time, was really ignorant. I was really, really ignorant about what was going on in America. I only believed what they taught me in school. And that after the Civil Rights Act movement was passed, that everything was okay and there's no racism in America and everything is great and it's the best place in the world.
Yep.
And that's why I said that there's power in our vote. Yes. As Americans, there's power in our voices when we are united, and we have to fight for the truth about what is happening in America to be taught in schools, because U.S. history is so whitewashed. It is insane.
It's not the truth.
There's no reason why I graduated high school at 18 thinking one thing and went away to school and learned about different instances and actions that took place even 20 years ago. Yep. And I'm wait, no, that couldn't have happened. Yeah. The Civil Rights Act was passed.
Yep.
There's no reason why people are still getting denied away from housing, getting denied away from jobs and whatnot. And it's because the American school system, the history system is failing our youth. And that this is what happens when the youth get upset, because you guys are lying to us. You guys have to stop lying. I know that it's uncomfortable. I'm sure it's uncomfortable for a history teacher, white, any race, to be well, mainly white, to be talking about race relations in this country.
But do not deny the fact that it happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Stop turning a blind eye to it. Enough is enough.
Stop skipping from the civil rights movement then to like
the technology area. Yeah, like I'm done. Like stop doing that.
Because there's a bunch of bullshit that you guys are teaching.
They don't even teach the full civil rights.
Right. You guys do not teach everything. And I mean, gosh, I don't want to go in on the school system, but let's be honest, they teach things for assessment tests at the end of the school year, and teachers are pressured to glaze over certain topics so that they can meet a certain quota of students passing the exam, and that is bullshit. You guys are setting your students up for failure. It has to stop. There is a problem within America, and there needs to be a full change from the inside out.
Well, and I think kids just need to be... I don't ever remember being taught in school how to have an opinion and discuss that with someone. And so I think a lot of that does start at home too, but you go to school, 189 days out of the damn year, and not even a good 30 days out of those days, you can have some sort of constructive like conversation, even if it's about racism. Or not even racism, but just different cultures, something. So it's not like if a student has a question about race or anything that they can ask and they know it's a safe space. Yep. Just like here with us, I feel like this is my first safe space where it's like we all know we can ask each other questions and no one's going to, we obviously start out with saying, please don't take offense. I'm just curious. And then, the person can reciprocate like, okay, she's not trying to be offensive. Yeah. But it's like, nowhere is that taught in school where it's just like, you're kind of just taught it was good. This was bad. And this was bad. And this was bad. And that was that. And like you said, it was just all over.
Right. Yep. And it's like, I took AP history and I still graduated high school not knowing the truth about what's going on in America. Yep. Guys, it's uncomfortable, but this is America. Yep. Stop believing this melting pot lie.
We're not in a melting pot.
It's not the truth. Stop believing it. And the change starts with you. You do have power. Make a change today. Have these conversations with your friends. Is it going to be uncomfortable?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
But nothing's going to change.
Right. You have to sit in that uncomfort. You have to have these awkward... Well, not awkward. I don't think this conversation is
I don't find this awkward.
I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for.
Difficult and important conversations.
Yeah, you have to have them so that the future generations that are coming up, but even the generation right now, like, we can make a change.
Just stop saying that we're all alike.
Oh my God.
That is the biggest bullshit. Gaby, you're not me. DeAnni, you're not me. And guess what? That is okay.
Our differences make us better.
Yes.
We're not the same.
We're not the same.
And you guys, whether you want to believe it or not, you have privilege. You can use that privilege for good.
Yes, you can use it for
that
good.
Privilege to help. And that starts with you having these conversations, standing by your friends that are not white, and fighting for their rights too. Human rights. I'm not, guys.
No, this is not a political thing.
I'm not talking about anything politically. I'm really, I promise you guys, we are not talking politics here. We are talking about basic human rights.
And plus, if it was about politics, it's like, that's all out the window. Like you said, it's human rights. I'm sure any independent, Democrat, Republican, what the hell, Green Tea Party, whatever the hell it's called, I'm pretty sure none of them would be okay with someone dying.
And if you're like unaware, you're uncomfortable, you don't even know where to start, I would say start by educating yourself. Yeah. Read some books.
That's true.
Ask questions. There's a way to go about asking questions without like offending people.
Yeah. And read there's an amazing book called White Fragility. Incredible book. Everyone needs to read that. You will learn so much. List? Yeah, I will start a book list. If you want to get educated, go to Amazon right now and buy White Fragility.
Something like that.
Something like that. Just, you know what I'm trying to say.
Words.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just think, and plus, granted, we don't know a whole lot. You know, we're going off of what we've learned and what we feel and what we think is what's best just for, you know, the Black community right now, what needs to be done and said for them. But, you know, if you have questions, don't feel free to message us or anything. I mean, whether we can answer it or not, at least the question's being asked. We can even say it aloud on here. And if another viewer may know the answer, you know, well,
this is
you guys in contact with each other.
This is a space like we are open to having these discussions, because if we don't, like, I'm so glad you said that, DeAnni, at the beginning. It's like, yeah, of course, you want to start a podcast and just like talk about rainbows and sunshines, like blah 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 blah. That's not reality, and I'm not going to come up here and like sugarcoat what's really happening, because that would be a disservice to everybody right now. And if you're uncomfortable with this episode, I'm encouraging you to sit down and figure out, why are you so uncomfortable? And that's okay. If you're uncomfortable, that is okay, because that's the first step.
Yeah,
get uncomfortable.
True change happens when you sit in that uncomfortability. Don't just stay in your little like safe bubble, because I mean, I left my safe bubble at 18 and it was a culture shock. I was like, I felt lied to. I felt confused, and I had many conversations with my parents, and they were kind of telling me, you know, these are the conversations that we've wanted you to realize. But for so long, I was like, no, everything is great. Living here in Northern Virginia, everything is so great. My friends, blah, blah, blah. You guys got to wake up.
Yep.
You have to wake up. You have to have these conversations. It's never too late.
No.
And I'm just going to be honest to the listeners. We don't have an advice segment this week, because I feel like we've given you plenty of advice with this story.
So on that note, you guys, we're gonna end the episode. So don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review, and share our podcast with your closest friends. Feel free to follow us on social media. Also, you can find our podcast at Sippin Through Life, and my Instagram is at Gaby Colazzo.
And you can find me on Instagram at Life of DeAnni. That's LifeofDeanni, and that'll be in the description below.
And you guys can find me at Hey It's Megan, 3 Y's, 2 S's. And that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. DeAnni, thank you.
Thank you, DeAnni,
for everything that you said. I appreciate it. I hear you. I love you.
Love you guys too.
And
Thanks for listening.
I will continue to do better and to learn.
Thanks, guys. Till next time.
Love you guys.
Bye.